Okay, you're on.
You're all set?
Yep.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the Board of Selectmen's meeting for the town of Tufton Borough. Today is Monday, September 25th. Can we please stand in honor of America with the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business is the opening of the police cruiser bids. Just let me read into the record. This was the ad, invitation to bid. The town of Tufton Borough is accepting sealed bids for the sale of the 2009 Ford Expedition. It has 91,511 miles. The vehicle will be sold as is. The vehicle is a former police cruiser and can be seen here at the town office. Sealed bids needed to be submitted to this office by 4:00 p.m. on Friday, September 22nd, 2017. And bids will be open now at the Selectmen's office Monday, September 25th at 4 p.m. 3 were received. Kayak. Number 1. Natasha Moody submits a bid of $5,189.58. Number 2, Karen Cook. I would like to put a bid in for $1,001.
The price is right. Worth a shot.
Nice try. You get to drive around with those.
Yeah, we're building
Insignia.
an ice racer, is that what you're doing?
Number 3, Andrew Shigori. My bid for the Ford Expedition is $5,000. Is there a motion?
What's the first one again?
$5,189.58.
Oddly specific.
Oddly.
That's it.
I'll make a motion to sell the Ford Expedition to Natasha Moody for $5,189.58.
Okay.
Second?
Any further
Plus
discussion?
tax and title.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Can you pass all that down to Karen?
Yep.
The loser.
Okay. We're right on schedule, and we'll begin with public input.
I'd like
First,
to
sir.
give a shout out to Tufton Borough PD, especially Sergeant Hathcock. Sergeant Hathcock and his radar aided me a few weeks ago in the calibration of a speedometer that I have on a motorcycle, and we also had a wonderful talk afterwards about motorcycles in general. I would comment that public relations really hinges on the public. I think most of the time the public doesn't make any effort to relate to our police department. Whereas if they did, they would find out that any of our guys are really easy to approach and talk to, and I've always had good experience with them. I'd just like to say thanks again to Sergeant Hathcock for his help.
Anyone else? Your hand.
I've also had good experience with both with Jamie and with Andy. Very approachable, easy to talk to. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Karen's husband, but I'm sure that he must be wonderful if she puts up with him. So that's it.
Okay, we'll move right along. The fire chief can't be here. He has another place to be, and let us know in advance. Andy will be here shortly. Let's review the approval of minutes. Let's deal with September 8th. What is your...
September 8th?
September 8th, Friday, September 8th. I didn't see anything, but...
I didn't either.
I guess I didn't see it. No, it's too late for that.
You want to take a moment, or you all set?
No, I'm good.
Is there a
Should I
motion?
take a knee?
Move approval as presented.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next will be Monday, September 11th.
Yep, I have one correction.
Go ahead, sir.
In the second paragraph on the first page, we're talking about the pumping the septic tank at the library, and the minutes read JB and Son, and it's actually DJ's Septic Pumping Services that he is doing the ongoing pumping of that tank.
Was J and B Son said, or is it D and J as a correction, or a little bit of both?
I believe it was my error.
What?
It was my error.
So,
So
okay,
DJ was discussed
yes.
in the meeting,
Yep.
right?
I'll make a motion and we accept them as corrected.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Why don't we... There are the normal things in the blue folder for review
Yep.
from our building inspector. And we're off to signature file. This is a letter going out to Katie Slonaker, Slonaker, Emergency Management Specialist. And she wanted to know if we have a written policy for the procurement of contractors. The letter that is being sent to her says, the town of Tuftonboro does not have a written policy for the procurement of contractors. When a project is of great expense, the town tends to put the project out to bid. The award of a bid is based on the lowest responsible bidder and has fully complied with the details of the RFP. If timing is of the essence, or an individual is particularly familiar with the project, there are times where a project would not be put out to bid. The project manager would use their good judgment for situations such as these. If you have any questions or would like to discuss this matter further, please don't hesitate to contact Administrative Secretary Karen Cook. I asked her to please attach something we go by, and that's Contracting 101 that came out of the town and city. And in the 5 years I've been here, this is what we used. For example, one of the bids at Pine Pond Road was over $35,000, but there was no surety or bond put. And that was one of the things that were required by law. So we follow the guidelines of the RSA's, even though they're not written into our policy manual. Is it okay, gentlemen, you want to sign this letter? And do we need a motion?
I'll move approval.
Is there a second? I'll second it.
Okay.
You want to, have you read the letter?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
And who is this Katie Slonaker? Is that just female?
She's the individual that was looking for, that asked the question with respect to the
Right.
I'm not sure.
How we award things.
FEMA submission for the winter storm. So, and the short answer is we do it in accordance with the state RSA.
Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Go ahead, sign it, gentlemen. Next is to a Mrs. Beverage, a Beverage Craft and Beer Soap Company. Has the permission of the town to use 19 Mile Bay Beach area for a beer fest on January 22nd, 2018 from 12 until 3:30 p.m. Per your discussion with Chief Thompson, this approval is contingent on there being an additional porta potty, no disposal of ashes in the lake, proof of insurance is also required. I understand this also is passed through the police chief.
Yes, and he didn't have any.
I have one correction there, and we discussed in the last meeting,
Okay.
a certificate of insurance with the town as a named insured,
Oh, not
which is
just,
different
okay.
than
Okay.
just a approved insurance,
Okay.
yeah. And it's,
Additional insurance, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll table this until that change is made, okay?
Mhm.
We have two separate right of burials. One is for lots 11-3 and 11-4. For Walter and Marjorie Buckley.
move approval.
I'll second.
As I understand it, these are both passed with permission of the trustees, correct,
Yes,
Karen?
that's right.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. And while you're signing that one, I'll just go on to the next one. It's lot, section E, number 50 is Anthony and Rosalie Trio. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Next is a notice of appointment to Thomas Young to fill a vacancy on the Capital Improvement Program Committee. A member, you'll be a member, and the term expires June 2020.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. This is notice of intent to cut wood or timber for lot 68-3-2.
Move approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. Karen, do you pass these on to the acting forest ranger?
Yes.
This is as it
Next is, I think, a 3/4 poll of the summary of inventory evaluation for Tufton Borough. It's the MS1, and it's required to be reviewed. And this has been reviewed by Diane and also by Rodney Wood, our appraiser. You folks had a chance to look at it?
Did you look at it, Bill?
I have not.
I did some quick adding the big columns there, and everything seems copacetic.
And does this reflect a change in the utility tax, or is that?
On the
changed?
last page, I think it does not include it. I think the utilities are specifically left off by law.
Well, we've got electrical co-op.
Okay,
10
maybe,
million.
maybe I read the wrong page. Rod has been working with Sanssouci and has some input as far as how we should proceed.
No deaf people in town.
This reflects a net valuation of $31,178,841, including utilities.
Yep. And I stand corrected. That's up because it was 14 last year.
Could you say that number again?
$31,178,841. I'll move approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
So that wasn't the gross valuation, which was 980 plus million.
Correct. It's almost $1 billion.
It was over $1 billion.
A little bit low. This is for tax lot, map lot 59-1-10. It has to do with resident applying for veterans credit and disability credit. And the recommendation from Karen is, I recommend that you award this gentleman both the veterans credit, $500, and the disability credit, $2,000, effective for the 2018 tax year. And she explained why. Have you folks read this?
Yeah.
Have you read this?
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
So move.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Karen. You really worked with this gentleman, and it's appreciated.
No problem.
Next are 2 letters going out to 2 co-workers, Bob McKenna and Albert Bowley. And I'll read the letter. Thank you, gentlemen. The town of Tuftonboro would like to thank you for installing the new beach sign on Cow Island. This was kind of you, and it's very much appreciated. Okay to send these letters out, gentlemen?
Absolutely.
Do we need a motion, or just go do it?
I don't think,
It's a
I don't
thank
think
you.
we need a motion. I think we just sign it.
Yep. More citizens that step up to the plate. We're very fortunate.
lost it?
Yeah,
Oh.
by $186.
Yeah, 58 cents.
Close. So close. So close.
Come on down, sir. How you doing?
Hot. Very hot.
Go ahead, sir.
So, couple things coming up. Drug take back will be the 28th from 10 to 2 at the transfer station. I'm just waiting for the letter back from the Attorney General's office giving us the waivers.
928.
That's
10/28.
10/28.
10.
Can you do that in big print for us? Thank
So, we've had some computer issues this last week because where we connect to the county, they had to install some new equipment there. Didn't necessarily want to play well with our printer, so I spent probably, well, Tuesday Tom was here, Wednesday I spent a lot of time on the phone with the county IT guy, and same thing with Thursday. He said he sent it up for support higher up in another in the company for Sonic Wall, and then today all of a sudden it started printing like all the stuff that had been requested over the last week. So he had to put a stop to that. So it's working, except I'm having other computer issues right now here.
Is it fair to say that this is the next year that we invest money in
Yeah,
computers?
next year, I already talked to Tom about, upgrading our server, because through IMC is a cheaper way of doing that. I probably need to upgrade the computer in my office, but we'll be looking at some of those. It's definitely on the list.
No, I'll pay you a compliment. You haven't yelled and screamed too loud, and we appreciate that. But I'm speaking for myself. This computer is acting up, and I look at computers are like lighting systems and door locks and heating systems. They need to be working so you can be on the road.
So you're expecting to present a warrant article for computers in 2018?
No, it'd be in my budget, 'cause it's only gonna be $4,000 or $5,000. So the server will be about 3,000, right around there, Tom thought. So I'll just put it in my budget as new equipment. Just upgrade a little bit, incrementally make those changes rather than make a big wholesale. The new vehicle is being upgraded, or being upfitted right now. Went down last week, it's still sitting down there. I checked on that today, they still got some more to go. And then Gina from Parks and Rec reached out to me about on the 21st, they've got a thing at the school, whether or not we can do a McRuff like we did last year, so we'll be talking to her about that. And October, I was just talking with the Child Advocacy Center, and it's with the Granite State Children's Alliance. Beards for Bucks for October. We contribute money, we get to grow a beard for the month.
Cool. You should have to get a tattoo.
No,
Yeah.
it would have to be like a henna one that would come off. I do it long term. But that's what's going on.
I'll bring a couple of things up, and this is positive. First of all, this is a copy of the drug article that appeared in Conway's Sun. Have you folks seen it?
Yes.
It's very well crafted. Please don't stop. It has to do with marijuana is still legal.
Illegal.
Illegal, excuse me.
We did do the road study on
Like-
Lang Pond, and I think the average speed was at 22, 23, so we posted at 25, we're even above the 85th percentile by quite a
Encourage
bit.
people to drive faster.
Well, hopefully not, but the average speed was right around that range, so
So can we post that?
we can post it at 25.
Does it make, where would you post it on the other end? Does it make sense to work with Wolfboro?
Probably at the town line would be
Okay,
where I think would be the logical, unless you work with Wolfboro, see what they say, but, so yeah.
Well, their section of Lang Pond has a lot of side streets running off it, and it's a little wider than ours, and so the character of the road up there
Paved.
is, and it's all paved, it may be considerably different than ours, so they may have a higher speed limit. But, and once you pass all those homes going down there, then no reason to get wrapped up on that, I wouldn't think.
Another honor you're getting is on November 9th, you're getting the Nick Haley's Law Enforcement Award at New Futures, and that's at the Capone Center in, is it Manchester or Concord?
Concord, it's right down by,
And I, for one, would like to go. I'm sure there's some other people who'd like to go. Can I have Karen, do we need to reserve a seat, or how does that work?
yeah, you would notify New Futures.
Yep.
I think it's free, but you would like a head count.
Register before October 27th.
And actual, so that's when the governor comes and all that. They have a lunch one on the 26th. So,
I have no
It's a
problem.
multi-day event.
well, it's not
We have to get a
multi-week.
room.
No. 26th of October is they're having a lunch one where they, guess there were too many people talking too long about their awards and stuff, so they want to kind of not.
Does that need a reservation? Because I'll volunteer to go.
Yeah,
Karen, can you work to make sure Lloyd Wood has a reservation for these two events?
Sure.
Would anyone else like to go?
It's a little far afield for me.
Mhm.
Try to make it.
Yep. So this is at 4:30 PM.
Again, I have followed your career, and I followed Nick. He passed away a couple of years ago, but you guys make a difference. Thank you.
How's your budget coming?
it's coming. Like I said, I got the number for the computer. That's probably the only thing I see of is new equipment. So it'll be just calculating the different, everything else will probably just be the adjustments as I see that from the standard what we're doing, nothing. I don't see anything for big changes other than that.
I had a couple of questions.
No other major equipment purchases?
Not that I can think of for next year.
Okay.
I may,
Can stop thinking, it's fine.
whatever. I may, we had looked into possibly doing something with our rifles, but I haven't done anything with, looked into that totally yet as far as replacing them, but we'll see. They're about 18 years old now, 17 years old? 17, I guess. And so they need new night sights if nothing else, but
You don't want to use,
no.
not worn
Not a
out.
lot of barrel erosion,
Well, it'd be from training, but not from, no.
but, right, again,
Yeah, it's not like
It
we're
depends.
firing full auto
right,
all the time and all that.
All the time. Or
Well, that's what gives you barrel erosion is, but they're also chrome lined, so it helps to deal with that.
I had a couple of questions. Status of the radar trail?
So in October, when we get our, we already called about it, we get our radar units recalibrated, checked to make sure they're working, they'll come out and they'll fix it. It fried new batteries for some reason, so there's something wrong with the charger. So rather than pay somebody twice to come out from,
No.
I think it's Dayton, Maine or something like that, when they're coming over anyways to do our radars, we'll have them.
Parking signs along 109.
I haven't heard anything from the state on that.
Okay. I'm trying to think, how can the town, the selectmen or you nudge people along?
At DOT?
Yes. Is there a way?
I can ask.
Without being adversarial?
I'll ask how the work order's coming.
Okay. The parking signs at the dock and all
We're gonna work on that
boats.
ordinance.
Okay, and now the parking ordinance, is that for both docks, or is it just not an issue up in Melbourne? The dock's a dock, I'm thinking, right?
As far as docking there, I think
A citizen asked me, and I said I would ask, so.
you're talking about Melvin Wharf, not Melvin
Right.
by your house,
Right.
but we're talking the wharf, the
Yes.
swim area. Probably should be included on the same types of hours and times, and probably the wharf too.
And
And Lake
the
Street.
wall at Lake Road, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I know that,
And all of this at this point is sort of moot for this year, but
It gives us time to
we've
get
got
everything.
plenty of time now to get it pulled together before next year's season.
and did you have a recommendation whether it's the selectmen who passed the ordinance, or whether we go to town meeting, or you were gonna think about it and research it, right?
I think I'll research it. I think I'll have to research it, because if you read the road less traveled, they talk, and town, well, what is it, the book from the Municipal Association of Governing, they say ordinances are passed by the legislative body, but I think the selectmen also have the right to control town property. So in other words, if you had an ordinance on the use of the roads, like parking on the sides, it would need to go to the town. But if you're talking who can use Davis Field for whatever purpose, that would be the selectmen. I think that's how
Yep.
that was worded in there. And I'll research
But
that.
the selectmen would have to bring it to the legislative body anyway. So we
Right.
have to have some agreement
Right,
of what we're bringing.
and especially the dock
Because they're not
already.
gonna create their own, I mean, our particular legislative body isn't gonna create
Right,
You're right.
ordinances, I don't think.
No, I have no problem involving whoever's appropriate. And you were gonna be working on maybe a little bit different approach as far as weekly or monthly summary of,
yeah.
Activity.
I said this week I had a real,
yes.
I spent a lot of time, and then I also had to spend some time trying to get one of the video systems going in the cruisers too, so that was, and I needed it to get stuff recorded, so.
Along that line, I'd like to pass this out. Has to do with Sodom Road Bridge. Pass one down to Karen. And I'll just read it. The town has received the attached notice from New Hampshire DOT that recommends changing the weight limit on Sodom Road Bridge. Is there a legal procedure for the town to follow before it reclassifies the weight limit? And that,
I don't know.
I guess what I do is I go back to you, because if there's anyone who understands the IRS